Well, I think this is an important race. This seat hasn't been open in over 30 years, and a lot has changed while Judge Tonley's been on the bench. I mean, as we face this election, there's a lot of things that have happened. You have the heroin epidemic and the housing crisis that is affecting neighborhoods and families in ways we never thought possible. And today we see that the court structure itself, the Niles Safety Building, is in need of $1 million of repair. So I think it's very important that whoever the judge is that takes this seat has experience, and not only experience, but relevant experience. And I think I have the right experience.
All right, just give us a little bit of background about you. How long have you been practicing law and that sort of thing?
Well, I've been a trial lawyer for 21 years. I'm currently a full-time Warren City prosecutor. I handle opiate-related cases on a full-time basis. I'm very familiar with that issue. I'm also the prosecutor of Warren's Housing Court. That's something that Niles does not have, and it's a docket program that I would like to institute if I'm elected judge to deal with the cases of blight and how we docket those in these housing cases. And I think the other experience that I have that is very relevant, especially considering the shape of the building and what it needs, is I'm a township trustee. And in Wethersfield Township, we have balanced budgets for the next 5 years. Our buildings are in good shape. We're keeping our facilities in repair. And I think my familiarity with public budgets and public funding gives me the right experience for this job, along with my prosecutorial background.
What changes would you like to see to the Niles Municipal Court? Because obviously this heroin crisis isn't going away anytime soon, and that's a majority of the cases coming through at least the municipal court level.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you look, the obituaries this week are literally filled with people who have overdosed on heroin. And I think the important thing is making treatment available at the earliest stages, when you catch that person with the first needle or when you catch them with that pain pill, which the pain pills are the gateway to heroin. You have to get those folks in treatment as early as possible. There's ways to do that at no cost to the court. You don't have to go into big treatment and linkage programs. You can actually set up a program where they use the facilities and services that are already available in the community to get them into treatment. And the one thing the court can provide is it can provide incentive, and it can provide accountability that isn't there if they just walk into treatment on their own.
Would you like to see a drug court maybe started in Niles? I know they're facing financial hardships right now, but sometime in the future, just because Common Pleas has one, and I know other areas have one like Youngstown. So is that something you'd like to see?
Well, drug courts are a good idea, but I mean, a drug court in conjunction with another municipal court might be a good idea at some point. It's definitely something to look at, but we don't have to wait on that. We can implement through a probation department treatment and linkage right at the outset of the case, starting with arraignment, moving through the conclusion, and even on the back end during probation. So you don't necessarily have to have a drug special docket court. We can do some things right off the bat to upgrade the treatment and the incentive to get treatment for those who are charged with opiate-related cases. I mean, you can't incarcerate your way out of this situation, but also a judge has to understand that there are some folks that the incarceration has to be an option. Sometimes the addiction leads to victimizing the elderly, victimizing your neighbor, victimizing local businesses. And when you get a person that falls into that category, then you have to have the jail option available as well.
What makes you stand out above the other three candidates in this race?
Well, in my view, under experience, I think this election needs to come down to the two prosecutors. We have the experience. We deal with heroin every day, and we know and understand the issues of addiction and what that's all about. What sets me apart is I'm a prosecutor in Warren's Housing Court. I know how to handle housing cases. I know how to docket them so that they are scheduled in a way that justice can be served and that it can actually make a difference in the community. And most importantly, my experience as a trustee and my track record as a trustee. I mean, Wethersfield, we have balanced budgets, and our facilities are in good shape. And this issue with the court building in Niles is significant. $1 million to repair that facility. That's the facility that houses the court.
And the judge kind of oversees all the finances of the court.
Yes.
So how $1 million price tag is a hefty thing to walk into. Do you have any plans to help repair the building? Because, I mean, it is a vital area for Niles. It houses the police department, it houses the fire department, and the courts, so.
Well, you know, Niles has the new service director, Ed Stredney, and he is a very creative guy, a very bright guy. And obviously, if I'm elected judge, I would be working hand in hand with him, because that building not only houses the court, it houses council chambers, it houses the police department, and it houses the fire department. So we would be working together. However, the legislature and the Ohio Supreme Court give judges a toolbox to work with, and identifying those tools and how they can be used to affect that physical facility of the court is critical. And there are tools out there. There are special projects funds and other things that can be used by the judge that can generate some money by way of court costs and allocation of court costs to actually deal with that physical plant. So.
All right, the last question. What would you like the voters to know? If there's one thing that they could remember about you before heading to the polls or going early voting, what would you like them to know?
Well, I think the voters need to know that I care. I'm a lifelong resident of the area. I grew up in the city of Niles. I currently live in Weathersfield Township. My family lives in the city of Niles, and I love this community. I care about the community. I care about its future, and there's a lot of good things going on here. And we need to bring out the positive in our community, step away from the negative that has been here. And I have the experience to make a difference. I have the experience to solve these problems. And if I'm elected, I will step in and do exactly that. And I'm not afraid to make tough decisions. I've established that track record.